Oh, wait, what am I doing? I've got a way better way to play this music. Hold on, give me a second. Instead of doing this, I have no idea what's coming up, and so that I just have to stop it. Garbage. Right. Give me a mo.
think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change? Did you exchange a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in the cave?
You've got 2 Steam codes for Lonely Mountain Snow Raiders. Yep. No, tiny places can rarely give 2. Yep. There you go. 2 Steam codes, everyone. Enjoy. Wait, there's too many reviews, folks.
How I wish you were here. We're just 2 lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. What have we found? The same old fears. Wish you were here. Shadow waves and deepest knees. No one tells me why I'm here. Leather straps on stapled eyes. Got a screen to cut your ties. Can't subtract from Adderall. Pull you in before you fall. Not as sweet as it appears. Someone tell me why I'm here. Ooh, you know I'm gone. Ooh, go, I'm on to you now. All they want is your control. For the Bible.
Welcome, my friends, to Xbox Era. If you're new here, let me fill you in. Xbox Era is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course, XboxEra.com, your destination for the best news, reviews, and features, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of Xbox Era. Our incredible podcasts listened to in over 50 countries worldwide, our in-depth reviews, our own merch store for the coolest in gaming threads, and of course Day One, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. We're a small, agile and independent publication, and importantly, we're completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can become one of the cool kids by supporting us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/Xbox Era. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us grow even larger. Thank you for your support. Xbox Era is only made possible by the support of an amazing community, and in particular our legendary and growing army of Patreon supporters. Our executive producers, Top, The Scarecrow 121, Peter B, Not Jack, Mohammed Sherez, Kevin S, Korkenstein, Jordan White, Jordan Andow, Frankie C, Terran H, and Britt. Our amazingly generous grand benefactors who take their support and dedication to Xbox Era to another level. Cryat 56, an assassin. And then there's our boss, our leader, our shining light in times of darkness, the one and only Xbox Series CEO, Torn Raptor. You guys are all fucking awesome. If you enjoy the content Xbox Era produce and want more of it, and you're not a patron, consider heading over to patreon.com/Xbox Era, pledge your support, and get cool swag in return. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Xbox Era Headlines. The date is January 16th, 2025. Five. That's a typo, isn't it?
Wow.
Hey, we've got to get used to that. I'm Jon, and today Jesse and I will be taking you through all of the latest in gaming news from across the industry. Prepare for a Nintendo-centric episode because, at long last,
There's not actually that much to talk about.
I know. We'll get into it. They've revealed the Switch too. Get hype. Just as a heads up for people listening or tuning in right now, as a bonus for our incredible Patreon community, we make audio versions of these episodes available for them to listen to in the Patreon app. But if they're on Spotify, they can link their account and listen to it there instead. If you would like to become an awesome person and support us on Patreon, you can head to patreon.com/Xbox Era and become legend. With that said, it's a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
NatetheHate is the heretic prophet in this instance. He
keeps saying the things that everyone else seems to know, but they won't say until he says.
Yeah, but kudos to him. That's a pretty bit, like, to get that absolutely nailed.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Just goes to show.
He's got another one today too.
People love it. What else did he do today?
I can just add it in probably.
Yeah, let's just add it in. We'll talk about it. I know as well. Trav loves to hear NatetheHate. And it's fun to say, right? Do you hate the Nate, Trav? You can't hate the Nate because Nate is the hate. But anyway, I am in a good mood today. It's been an interesting day thus far. And, it's nice. We've finally seen it. The Switch 2. It's here. Now, don't hate me for this. You know how I've been like, I wonder if it's just going to be a better Switch 2. And then it is. And then it's like, yeah, it's the Switch 2, but bigger. So get excited. It's the Switch. And
does the Switch have a mouse?
They did show off the Joy-Cons driving little race cars. That's the gimmick. Here comes the gimmick. It's on its way. Nintendo haven't let me down. I thought it was an underwhelming console reveal.
It is.
But Nintendo can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it is their general. Like a lot of console, hey, we're going to talk about it later, things aren't normally super flashy. Like Xbox didn't actually end up they had no gameplay in theirs for the Game Awards. It was just like a theme and feel piece, but it was cool because it was at an awards show. Nintendo being as big as they are and wanting to keep their holiday sales going, we're kind of just like, yep. I mean, once it hits, it's going to be big no matter what we do. So we get this, and I do think that probably some US people might have seen the UK and Europe trailer that says 2/4 and said, "Oh, that's why we're getting a February show."
It's confused people a lot. Yeah, that is an April the 2nd Nintendo Direct. Just to be clear,
with a most likely, goddamn it, Nick is right again, release in June. So it's really far away.
Yeah.
Also, Nick did tweet out because he can't help himself.
18 minutes to
go. Pricing $450 and then $500 for the bundle with Mario Kart was his.
Interesting.
Yeah, so $450 if it is that much. Not shocked, but also if the hardware is what has been in the leaks, because the leaks got everything else right. Like if you've seen any Switch 2 leaks, you have seen the Switch 2. Like it is just that. It is exactly that. It's got the magnetic joysticks. Hopefully they are Hall effect, would be really cool. The Joy-Cons. It's got the little mouse sensor on the right one, I think, that can then go down into a little clip, and then you use it to, sense like a mouse does.
Well, there's been rumors that Civ 7 is going to be a title on the Switch too, right? And immediately I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You flip the Joy-Con on its side, and that's a mouse, and now you've got mouse support with buttons on the sides. I mean, it works, right? I don't know if it's how I would want to play my Switch, but look, you can't count Nintendo out.
No, it will do fine. I just am very curious if it does Switch 1 levels fine, because the Switch 1 is like their second best selling thing ever. Only the DS is ahead of it.
Yeah.
But it was 300 at launch, right? Like it was a very different paradigm. So this one doesn't have to sell as much to make more. But how will it do? I'm curious. I'm sure it'll do fine, especially if it's got way more third-party support early. With the way they're talking about the specs, I am curious how long it keeps that third-party support. It's not strong. Like, it's still a 20-ish watt mobile chip. So how long can that go for? Hopefully a long time. It will be funny to not have the Series S be the punching bag. No, it will be the Switch 2 holding everything back. But true. I mean, because the Switch has been doing it longer than the Series S was, anyways. But yeah, it's a bigger, better looking Switch with its friggin' being. I guess both can be used as a mouse. Yeah, they both have it. Well, there you go.
Yep.
That little clip on the
it also
inside is going to break a lot for kids.
Yeah, I also feel like it's a lot more grown up. Like they've done away, like they've still got the accent colors of the Switch branding, but it definitely feels when it's all together as one system, very sleek. And the magnetic stuff, the way it just clicks in, it looks very neat.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to pick one of these up. I am going to check it out. Nintendo makes some cool stuff. I mean, I'm not hugely into most Nintendo games. I'll get one, probably.
I'm curious what else is Mario Kart 10. It won't. They say Mario Kart World Tour on mobile was 9. So Mario Kart 10 paired with like Metroid Prime 4. I'm curious what else. I don't know. No mainline Mario game. Well,
a bunch of Xbox first party, surely.
There's going to be a ton of third party, which will help, which was like the thing whenever people say, PlayStation's had a light year. It's like they've had a light first party year, but their third party year has been insane because there's just a bajillion games coming out. Also, this kills me. Certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported or fully compatible.
Yeah, that's just as a heads up for stuff that is designed to only work on the other Switch, I guess.
What would that be?
I don't know what that would. I don't know.
That's not a. I mean, if it's the same if these Joy-Cons don't have IR emitters, I don't know if there's any game that maybe 1-2 Switch doesn't work.
Maybe. This is the thing. This is Nintendo. They can do what they like, and people just be excited about it for the most part. It's interesting that we got that Mario Kart 10 clip there because just looking at it on the video, outside of some improved draw distance, I mean, if we're going to be a stickler for graphical fidelity, I don't know, man.
I don't think most people are not sticklers for graphical fidelity. Like, it can be very impressive when you see it, but most of the time, I think the average person who Nintendo is going after doesn't give a shit. Does it look cute?
I like this. Some rando in chat says, and that's actually his username. That's good. Nintendo Labo and Ring Fit Adventure won't work because obviously that's meant to hold the design of the Switch. And, I guess the Mario Kart wheels that have the Switch that you can.
Well, do you think they're going to just say absolutely not to letting any accessories work with it from Switch? Yeah, because they'll get away with that.
Because the new dock has the Switch 2 on it, and that's going to dock the controllers differently. So that's going to be a new accessory, and maybe they'll let the Pro controllers still work because that's just.
There's no logical reason there shouldn't be because those are just wireless essentially. But them, there's a chance they won't.
But overall, like
it's bigger, which is good for my beefy mitts, so I won't complain.
Yeah, it's bigger. It's more grown up looking, and the thing I will say that I love about this kind of pivot to handheld, lower powered gaming is it's gonna do a couple of things in my opinion. Again, just an opinion.
That D-pad looks painful.
It's gonna push for developers to be more creative with the power that they have to run on a handheld, and that's across not just the Switch 2, but future iterations of whatever PlayStation and Xbox do, along with devices like the Steam Deck and the Lenovo Legion Go and the ROG Ally and all of that jazz. And that I'm stuck in, like, that's what consoles used to be. I'm stuck in this box, so I'm going to come up with creative ways and optimized ways to run my video games. Versus, if you're on a standard PC, you can just go nuts with as much as the hardware will allow, and that usually breeds creativity in unique ways that only, in my opinion, bespoke hardware can do. Now, this is as unbespoke really as Nintendo are going to get. It's an iterative Switch. It's going to be what it is. But it has got a few gimmicks in there, right? We'll find out more April the 2nd for the Nintendo Direct, where we'll see games, a bigger overview of the system, features, all of that jazz.
And then they're having worldwide events all the way up through the beginning of June, which is why everyone's like, yes, so it's coming out in June.
Yeah. I think the London ones in the UK are in April, something like that, 17th. I'll try and get a look.
It's shockingly far away.
It is, all this like, it's going to release in March.
Yeah, because they're going to do the thing in February and then release in March. It's like, no, you had an American reading a European date. Sorry. But it does go back to the whole. A lot of the rumors have been right, and other rumors around the Switch 2 was they were having a hard time with first-party games, which would be shocking for Nintendo, but they kept putting everything out that they had on the Switch because they wanted to keep selling it because it's making so much money. So I'm really curious what the launch lineup for the Switch 2 ends up being. It's weird the first Berserker demo going up is big news because I played that game 5 months ago in the Insider program on Xbox. It was just there for anyone. This is
the first Berserker Kazan, isn't it? Kazan?
Yeah, that's. I was going to do it, but I also probably will now. Because there's too much. I can't do everything, especially now that Shadows moved there, and I have a shot of maybe doing it.
Yeah, well, the demo's available on Steam, PS5, Xbox Series X and S.
It's a Souls-like from the Dungeon Fighter universe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sounds
it'll
thrilling.
probably be on the Switch 2 as well. Just an Unreal Engine game.
Speaking of the Switch 2, we have Nintendo's expectations.
Well, no, it's analyst expectations, I think.
But yes, Bloomberg have reported that Nintendo's going to reveal their Switch, blah, 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 and that they've made special considerations to make sure that they're going to have enough supply to meet demand, and with a goal of selling something like 20 million units
in the first year, which would be more than the PS4, the PS5, or the original Switch all did.
That's very, very confident. Mario
Kart
10 will shift devices. Like, that will do it.
People who have bad taste and prefer Mario Kart over Sonic and All-Stars Racing, I get it. In a just world, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed would have like its 17th sequel by now, and it would be just world dominating.
All I care about is a new or an improved Super Smash Brothers. But
he's never doing one.
I know it's really unlikely we'll ever get a new one.
Not at least not a Sakurai-led one, and without him, they won't do it.
And even if they were to update it, they'd have to renegotiate all the licensing agreements for all those characters. So again, that's not likely. But
and then you get 6 years of people begging for certain characters in the game, and like it's mostly just anime sword fighter guy. Yeah,
I can see in the chat. Slideaway says, for some reason I thought Hi-Fi Rush was already on Switch. Yeah, I've heard people talking about that as someone in our forums was like, oh, Hi-Fi Rush is a launch title. But I remember Microsoft saying, that's it, now we're done. No other versions. I'm sure I read something like that after the PS5 version came out and didn't.
Oh yeah, that's because they ended up shutting the studio down and everything.
And the studio's gone, right? Now,
Yeah, they're back. They own
maybe
the
they'll
IP.
partner with Tango
Well, it
and
would
do
be up to
something.
they own Hi-Fi, right? Like Tango,
Yeah,
and
Crafton dudes.
yeah, so
So
it's just Crafton and Tango if they want to do it to get some more money while they're working on the next stuff. I wouldn't be shocked. The main issue that Nick always said, and he's only right like 10% of the time, so take it with a grain of salt, was they couldn't get it consistent 60, which that game really needs for the rhythm.
yes, yeah. And the Switch 2
And it would
is
probably
capable of
sell
that.
terrible again on the Switch too, because people have bad taste.
I don't know. I feel like if any game is going to do well and catch some limelight at launch on a new console from Nintendo that isn't a Nintendo game, I can imagine
Hi-Fi couldn't sell
worse.
anywhere.
Hi-Fi Rush could do well on Switch.
It couldn't
I
do
don't know.
well anywhere. I hope you're
Really
right.
good game.
It couldn't do well anywhere. People don't like rhythm games because most people don't have any rhythm.
Yeah. Sea of Thieves, though, that would be I mean, I would argue that it would be bold for Rare, considering the state of Sea of Thieves at the moment, and how rough it has been for them to support.
Rough seas.
Yeah. It's been rough for them to support multiple platforms now. They've definitely, this is a lot. Adding the Switch in, or the Switch 2, I should say, might be trickier than easily done, but maybe they'll do it. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to watch. And as always in this industry, new stuff is what gets people excited. It's what drives conversation, drives growth.
The
drives
Switch
engagement.
needs to carry gaming.
Well,
pretty heavily.
That and
Growth,
GTA
I mean,
6.
like gaming is making enough money to live forever, but to get more cool games, it needs to be able to do that and make you more, or else people don't want to put any money in it. Like there's been people going over the amount of venture capital money that was going into gaming around COVID was this enormous spike compared to normal, and it completely died and went back down to regular levels, which is why you've seen so many places shut down, because they just lost all that extra funding that let them start to exist. So
yeah, it's a scary industry.
And then you see people being,
Like,
I saw people being like, oh, I hope Ubisoft dies. And like, that's like 20,000 people that lose their job. You don't want Ubisoft to die. You want Ubisoft to fix itself and be good.
why would people wish that? I'd never understood that. You see that with platform warring as well. Can't wait till Xbox is dead.
Or
although
Nick
arguably
wants
Xbox is
Sony
already
dead. And it's like, why do you don't want them?
I don't wish for platforms to die. That's the wrong.
You want them to be
take.
better. You want Nintendo to finally stop shitting all over its customers and have them say, chocolate. Like you want people to actually stand up and get good products for their money. You don't want things to go worse. So, and by some people don't understand things slide away, you mean Nick. Lock it
To be fair to
down.
Nick, he was like at 20 to 1 UK time. He was like 18 minutes. And then 18 minutes came and went and nothing. I was checking, everyone was checking.
No, because Chris String had already said like 20 minutes, a couple minutes before Nick.
Yeah, and then like 5 minutes passed, I saw it actually come out on the Nintendo Twitter account. So I was like, oh, fuck's sake, Nintendo. But I put an article out. I know we're xboxera.com, but hey, if they're going to put Xbox games on there, does that mean the Switch 2 is an Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
In the you can give us money type of way, not the our entire platform is on this type of way that everyone seems to think it means.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the Switch 2, people. It looks like a bigger Switch. More news in April, I guess.
The big things are games always with Nintendo. So until we know what games are coming, it's exciting. New hardware is always cool. But we've got a while to wait now. We've got 2.5 months of waiting just to see the games that are coming, and then probably 2 months after that before we can play it. Yeah. There's 18 trillion things releasing between then, so I'm fine waiting. I literally wanted them to spread it out because it's too goddamn busy right now to keep up with everything. Don't need more on top of that.
Well, I've just got my next thing in to do, so I will be busy this evening, which is good. I like being busy, even though I'm already insanely busy. Speaking of our own indulgence, let's cover this as a news piece because we can. I'm just giving you the time to check that I've updated the.
It's already live.
Good man. Console Wars, the card game. A blog post went live today, penned by me, just detailing some new updates on our lovely Kickstarter that a lot of you watching right now help support and bring to life. With a behind the scenes video of production, which is super cool. So the account team that I work with over there that are putting this together, they shot some footage for me of the game being assembled and printed and cut and put into boxes and shipped across and put into crates and things like that. It is undeniably cool to see this all come together. And a quick update for folks that maybe have backed this and are waiting to see when they're going to get it in their hands. The sad thing that I didn't fully take into account is that shipping stuff on a big boat across the sea takes around 40 days. So whereas I was hoping to start shipping these out to backers in February, the likelihood is the whole objective right now is to get these on the boat and out of China before Chinese New Year, because then stuff will stop. And we're on target to do that. So we're probably looking at March, but that's why we said Q1 2025, so we wouldn't break a promise.
Yep.
So I'm still not stressed out about it. We're still on target to get them into.
Yeah, I mean, it's being made. If it's if it's production delays that are tied to like holidays, I think people understand. Have you seen the whole hullabaloo? Speaking of China, with America banning TikTok, and so everyone just started going to Red Note, and then they're just talking with Chinese people on Red Note and realizing, oh, it's not an insane country like the CIA keeps making us believe. It is just a bunch of people. Like,
honestly, the team that at Wingo who are building this game for us, they have been phenomenal. Like, I am talking, they have made my life so much calmer and easier by being on the ball and asking the right questions and clarifying the right things, that I'm not that stressed out about getting this out into your hands. And to see boxes and boxes of stuff that we designed and we built and they've made and they've got our company name on and all of that cool stuff, and it's very exciting and very fulfilling and rewarding and all of those lovely things, and like they're all shrink wrapped and looking great, and I'm hyped. I am so hyped to see this come out and get out into people's hands.
I'm gonna have to figure out where it ends. It's probably gonna end up like right there. I'll have to move the women in NASA or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe I can get it right in front of the Quest 3, maybe like right there.
It'd be great. It'd be fine. I will also share a couple of little bits. There is an improved game manual that we've rewritten from the ground up. One of the things that I think anyone that's designed something will probably empathize with this is that when you are really close to something, you just know, right? So you don't question and you don't see and you miss things. And we've been still playtesting, getting people to read the manuals, people that have never played card games before. And it ended up with me rewriting the entire manual from scratch to make sure that actually we're answering and providing the right info in the right context and not from a person's mindset that's played this 1,000 times. So that manual, if you want to go check it out, you can head to consolewarsgame.com now and grab the PDF if you want. It's what's shipping in the box, so you'll see it all there looking wonderful. And the last thing to mention is you'll also see a different company logo on the back of Console Wars, the card game, which is Booth Babe Games. If you're wondering what the hell that is and what it means, it's basically like Xbox Era's game design division, effectively. We did this for multiple reasons. One, genuinely, as sad as this is, Console Wars, the irony is thick here, Console Wars people console warring because our brand name is Xbox Era and they'll go poo-pooing it was a thing. And we want to avoid that because like we take punches at every manufacturer, publisher, etc. in the game. There's no favorite playing. So we figured that would be a good thing. And also, we wanted to disassociate the product from Xbox specifically. So if you're wondering why you're seeing Booth Babe Games on there, that's why. But it's a fun name, and that's why we did it. It's just an in-joke because the Booth Babes were a bunch of 40-year-old men, and my missus. So she was technically the only babe. But there you go. So that is all of the news on Console Wars. Super hype. Can't wait to see people's reactions when they get to play it and have fun with their friends. Looking forward to getting it out there. Next up, this one's an interesting one coming via. I'm reading Insider Gaming's report on this, but this is actually from Rebs Gaming, a Twitter Halo fanatic, I think, with a new claim that states that Halo Studios is seemingly gearing up to announce a new Halo game this year. This was spotted by GameRanks, but this original report is from Rebs Gaming, who spoke about the imminent announcement of an upcoming Halo game. His tweet revealed that the studio has allegedly, been playtesting future games for the franchise on a weekly basis. Rebs Gaming added, since they are this far in development, I expect at least one new Halo game announcement this year. I'm reading the report here from Insider Gaming from Sam Sepiol. This all comes from his YouTube video in which he discussed the new Halo Studios playtest lab. This new initiative was revealed from a LinkedIn post about a centralized testing space that can host staff from different departments so they can playtest games together, share ideas, and build better relationships. He's also mentioned other stuff about playtest sessions for artists and designers to come in and play similar maps in production and yada, yada, yada. Now, I feel like this is too early. And also, you know, like that centralized testing space, it's been there. It was there when I was there in 2020. That's not new. We've seen it in Vidocs. It's just rows of machines for testing builds.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're not going to be testing something. They're making a game.
Maybe they're making games, trying to figure out what wins. We don't know what.
Exactly. You know, playtesting. As someone who's playtested and designed stuff, it's an iterative, repetitive process.
The amount of games that get friggin' pretty decent along in production in testing for pitches and stuff, and then we never hear of them is very high. So it always feels like whenever we get one of these we get someone looking into inside information that they might not know, and then they just say, "Oh, it must mean this." That was that freaking. I didn't put it in there because it's a blog post on the information about Satya Nadella was thinking of shutting down Xbox in 2021, the year they had already done billions of investment. It was a blog post. It was somebody who was looking up information and giving an opinion, and people just took it as a report. So, but that is so much of gaming coverage is somebody looks at something, thinks something, and then that becomes a report, not just a thought. So,
the only other thing I would say though is that there's definitely something Halo cooking, but it seems to be more related to the HCS League. The head of HCS, a chap named Tashi, he tweeted out yesterday, we're more than 4 days away, but still #soon. Vague, I know. We will announce the date. We'll be doing the reveal. It won't just be a surprise. I do agree, though, that this will be one of the most exciting and competitive seasons for Halo esports. Now, if I wanted to put my tinfoil hat on, why would that be? Maybe for the first time ever, Halo will be available on other devices, increasing that player base, increasing that interest in the game.
It's not changing esports.
But it's not, it doesn't say changing esports, it's just the most exciting and competitive season for Halo esports.
Yeah, but I mean, the people who actually do Halo esports don't care what they're PC players anyways.
Monkeys.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Who knows? It's almost never what you surmise. It's I saw something on LinkedIn, and I've now guessed what it is. The article.
It's basically 2 + 2 = 5 sometimes. Are they building a new Halo game? Yeah, they've come out and said that. Is it releasing this year? I don't know. I mean, look at the rest of the year.
They're full. They don't have to force anything. It's not like we're going to have Halo for launch because we really need something for launch. It's like, no.
Jesus Christ! Why with all the teams that have had a rough ride, would you rush Halo?
Yeah, no, and I don't think
let them cook.
Pierre's thing is about not being rushed. It's about actually properly scheduling and scoping. Like that is, I think that's been one of their main pushes. It's like we now have enough. Plan well, manage correctly. You've got a good budget. Use it well, and have your shit ready on time. And we've seen like the Outer Worlds 2. Who would have thought that's ready at the same year as Avowed? But it's because Obsidian's really good at getting stuff done, when they have proper funding, and that was always their problem before. Is they were always, where is the next paycheck coming from? So it's same thing with like Double Fine. Like when they have backing,
They can
aces.
cook.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing that, reading in the chat. Lovely to see everybody, by the way. Do us a favor and do hit that like button if your funds are available to you to do so. It does help us.
Sadly, the
terms of the
18-month
algorithm.
dev contract thing is a Washington state law workaround for Microsoft, unless they can get Microsoft to just let them actually hire more people.
Yeah.
And they have been
The
hiring
nutshell
more,
on
but
that. The nutshell on that is I used to work in contingent labor. That's what that's called, by the way. And that is a tenure rule. And if you keep someone around for longer than 18 months officially and you still want them, you have to offer them a job.
yeah.
And that's just the law, right? So there's this huge focus. And don't get me wrong, you are all absolutely correct that it hurt particularly 343 Industries back then, because their engine was not the easiest one to grapple with, and by the time they tooled and schooled people to be able to do it, they had to shift them off and hire new and then restart that process. That's a freaking nightmare. Hence another one of the reasons for the move to Unreal. But I often see it framed as that's a Microsoft thing, that's a Microsoft rule, that's a 343 thing. It's not. It's just the rule. Right. So I just want to educate. Contingent labor space is super interesting one. Loads of gaming companies use it. I can't share much because I wouldn't be very professional of me to do so. But yeah, I've seen the clients that use this stuff.
And the way gaming is, where you're hiring up and then you don't need people for a while because you're starting over again. And,
normal.
yeah, it is. Why do you see people move from studio to studio? It's because they're going from project that needs them then to project that needs them then. Because once a project's done, then the next project, if for that studio, if they don't have something that's in that point where it needs those people, then that's why they go work somewhere else. It's going to pay them the same or more, hopefully. Like it is the way things work because of that.
Yeah, but there you go. Next up, this one comes courtesy of Video Games Chronicle, with Chris Scullion penning this one. Starfield was originally going to be much gorier. This is coming from a
Would have made a
former
happy jazz
Bethesda artist. There were decapitation systems in place, but were removed. This is an interview with the Kiwi Talks podcast. The artist's name is Dennis Megiliones, who was a senior artist at Bethesda for nearly 12 years, worked on Fallout 4, Skyrim, and Starfield. And he was asked why Starfield wasn't as gory as games like Fallout 4. And he replied the game was originally going to have more graphic violence like decapitations, but technical complications made it more trouble than it was worth. It has a lot of implications with the different suits, he explained. And from a technical perspective, there's a lot that has to go with it.
Yeah.
If you have to cut the helmet in a certain way, if it's got to come off, if you've got to have the meat caps for the bottom where the flesh is. We had systems for all of that, and it turned into a big rat's nest of all these things you had to account for, with all those crazy hoses on helmets and all that kind of stuff that we added. And, you could change the body size significantly. The character creator had evolved quite a bit. So I think it all came together to make it not happen, basically.
Yeah. There are some mods that add gore, but it's mostly just dead bodies are super bloody. Even then, it's not chopping them up because real pain in the butt when you got fancy spacesuits on.
Yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't have minded. Like, I think it would have been cool, like if you could crush someone's helmet in, and if you were in a vacuum, it did cool gory shit. That would have been realistic, sure, and fun. But it doesn't take too much away from the game. That bodies just
and it was a game that tried to focus on the positive, which some people preferred, some people didn't. Like some people are just like, life sucks and space is terrible, and it all wants you to die. So I want my game to be mature and gory. But yeah, I was fine without it being there. If it's technical limitations, I get it. I'm not gonna cry. I like the game quite a bit.
Yeah,
and as most people did at launch, despite what people looking back in hindsight, I know
it's mixed. It's mixed reviews. Anyway, next up, Xbox are introducing more ways for players to repair their consoles, reduce waste, and save energy. Now, this is coming off of the back of Microsoft's recent partnership with, and keep me honest here, iFixit, I think, which is they're providing parts for every element you could think of, from hard drives to motherboards to joysticks to controller shells, all of that jazz. And you can repair your devices, your Xbox devices. That partnership has now been extended from January 20th with You Break iFix, I think, or something like that, by Asurion. They'll become the first Xbox authorized service provider to repair Xbox consoles at its nearly 700 participating store locations across the US.
And as Mort says, yes, this is the same company building AI server farms, which is what made this funny for me. It's like everything the Xbox division tries to do with their green initiatives, like better packaging materials and less waste, is like, yeah, it's all ruined 100-fold by the other the AI division.
You've just reminded me of how good. Like, I know it's a weird thing to enjoy.
The box.
Can I just wax lyrical about how great opening an Xbox Series X as an experience was? The way everything lifted out and it was all beautifully, like, it was some sexy packaging. Yeah, I've got to give Microsoft props for that. It felt premium opening that device. Like, even the Series X was still Series S was nice to open, but the Series X was really good. But I think this is great. There's a couple of reasons I think for this. I think, previously Microsoft were the only authorized people, so you had to send your parts away, you have to wait a while. Maybe they don't want to pay for that anymore, and they're like, well, look, why don't we license this out? We'll get some money from people wanting to be able to do this themselves. We'll sell the
and
part.
for Microsoft, it was always just warranty. So this will be warranty, but now they're looking for out of warranty ways to fix things.
Yeah, it's outsourcing as well. Yeah. I think it just all comes together.
And they're going to put parts that you could potentially, like bumpers and other buttons for the controller you can buy for like $20 for the Elite on the Xbox website. Now you can just buy those parts directly from them. So yeah,
it's definitely. I think it's good for the consumer at the end of the day. You should have the right to repair.
Yeah, it's a good move in the right direction. It is just a bit of a sticker shock because they do subsidize so much that when you see what the part actually costs to buy, it's not cheap, because they're not going to sell it to you subsidized again. They're going to give it to you at cost, at the most, or at the least. Probably a little bit of a markup to cover someone packaging it up and shipping it out.
They also provided some updates on their carbon impact through energy. They've got the goal to become a zero waste, carbon negative, water positive company by 2030. That's Microsoft as a whole.
Not happening with AI.
Tricky. But they've said through recent updates to Xbox consoles, we've made significant advancements in how the Xbox Series S handles video content. And so far, these improvements have led to an average reduction approaching 10% in power consumption across all media apps on Xbox Series S, contributing towards lowering Microsoft's usage-based carbon footprint and potentially allowing players to save on their monthly electric bills.
It'll all be undone by everyone's 5090s.
Yeah, everyone plugging them in. And they've also provided an update on their Xbox Sustainability Toolkit, working on collaboration between all of their studios to make a more sustainable future for gaming. I mean, this is all fine. Like, it's not headline making news, but it's good to see, admittedly undermined somewhat by the huge AI farms that you mentioned. But hey, it's fine. That's fine. If we look at Xbox siloed away to themselves, maybe this is okay.
Yeah.
On the bad news front, though, Microsoft have also done their usual January layoffs. Now,
second batch of January layoffs. This is not the first one.
Right. Yeah, we spoke about the first one like 2 weeks
ago. The first one was like 650 performance-based ones or something like that, but this one is an unspecified number of employees across many divisions, including gaming. But I haven't found anyone talking about it. Like, I've looked and searched, and normally with these layoffs, if it's a bunch of people, you see people saying, I was let go today. If you know anyone or have anything, I'm looking for work, and I haven't found any of that. So I haven't. It could be 10 people, it could be 500, but there's no information about it, which is very annoying.
Yeah, according to Business Insider, the cuts will impact employees in the Xbox makers, security, sales, and gaming businesses.
The first round, maybe it's part of. I know it's the second round, but maybe it's still just a
Well,
continuation. If you see what I
because
mean, they're very
the
close to each other.
differentiator seems to be performance based and then not performance based.
Yeah. But speaking to CNBC, Microsoft says we focus on high performance talent and we're always working on helping people learn and grow. When people are not performing, we take the appropriate action. You can't slack off at Microsoft, people. You've got to be a little busy bee.
They
All
are
right.
data driven. They're going to have some metric for measuring you, as I'm sure everyone who actually works there would know.
I would not last long at Microsoft. I am far too lackadaisical.
I do great.
Yeah, you'd be like the star fucking pupil. You'd be like the SWAT sitting at the front of the class.
Make me your personal assistant for knowing what the hell's going on in gaming coverage, Phil. I'll get you the down low.
Oh dear.
What palms do you need to grease? Because you're greasing.
Yeah. We've got a few more things to go through here before we wrap this up today.
A few. There's like 10.
Yeah, I know, but they're really like one note things.
Mhm.
Diablo 4. Oh God, I can't read this unless I verify how old I am. Okay, fine. Fine, Diablo. I will do it. Diablo 4 Season of Witchcraft has a new season that's been detailed by Blizzard. This is starting on January 21st. You'll be able to embark on a new seasonal quest line to unlock powers of witchcraft, slay the rogue head rotten, and uncover the secrets behind this haunting mystery. Yeah, new powers, abilities.
It looks really cool. I saw it and immediately was like, I would like to. I will have no time to play this as badly as I want to. And that's always one of the hard things. Like, I play Path of Exile 2 and so many different live service things. And I'm like, this is really neat. I'm never going to touch it again because I won't have the time with how much is coming out. So unless I can make a stream or 3 out of it, this looks real neat. I enjoyed the expansion, but I have a very hard time feeling the pull to spend my free time in damn near anything lately.
Honestly, trying to cover... in this style of industry, if we were a dedicated Diablo site, sure, but we're not. And trying to cover everything and try and keep up with live service games, it's impossible. You just can't do it. Either that or you give up every semblance of social life that you might have. It's just, it's a thing. But yeah, if you're a Diablo fan, hooray, new stuff. Go play it. January 21st. Next up, Trav's favorite insider on the internet, NatetheHate, has hinted that good old PlayStation, they're not going to be left out of all this news making. We've got a developer direct from Microsoft and Xbox. We've got the Nintendo Switch 2 being revealed by Nintendo today. And goodness me, when's the next state of play? Well, according to NatetheHate, he said, how's February sound? That is in response to someone asking him directly on X. Okay,
yeah,
Twitter.
it is the usual date, Sparta.
Yeah.
They generally have one in February, so it wasn't surprising, but Nate seems to have sources everywhere, whoever he is, and so yeah, the thing that most people were expecting should happen.
There you go. Be very interesting. I'm very curious to see what PlayStation's statement for the year ahead is. Like what have they got? Even if it's third party.
Yeah, Death Stranding. Kojima was talking about how Death Stranding 2 is in the crunch phase, and he used the word crunch, which is very normal. But it's every game has a crunch phase. It's just how long and how brutal is it? Is it a few months and it's pretty rough, but not too bad? Cool. Is it years and years and life destroying like a friggin' NetherRealm or old Rockstar game? Not good.
Yeah. And speaking of PlayStation, the game catalog for January has been announced on the PlayStation blog. You've got God of War Ragnarok, Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, Atlas Fallen, Reign of Sand, and a few more coming to the service.
It's a good month.
Yeah, Medieval and Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings.
Yeah, so the
launch on PlayStation Plus Premium.
Yeah, premium is where you get the older stuff. So you got to spend a little more for that one. But
yeah.
PlayStation looks like they're having a fine year. PlayStation Plus is a curious one because the essential or the extra catalog, which is kind of like their Game Pass Vault equivalent. It was at like 700 games last year when it relaunched, and I think it's down to like 450. But it's okay. It's still got a bunch of. It's got more bigger, older games than Game Pass tends to now, but it has less newer things. Like if you but it also is much like Game Pass is full of old PlayStation Plus games. PlayStation Plus is very full of old Game Pass games like Atlas Fallen and Like a Dragon. They definitely use each other. The companies use them to bounce off to get better deals, to get a little bit more money from their older titles. It's always funny to see.
Yeah.
But the actual full list of everything that's coming for the month is pretty good. People seem happy with it, especially finally getting Ragnarok. Though I would say if you're looking to play it and you have PlayStation Plus Extra, the sooner the better, because their first party stuff doesn't stay there that long. It's like maybe a year at the most, 6 months to a year.
Well, there you go. PlayStation Plus. Game catalog for January is there. You can go check out the PlayStation blog if you're into that. Next up, we have the ongoing saga of poor old Ubisoft. Tencent and the Guillemot family are considering moving Ubisoft assets to a new venture, it's claimed. This is from Chris Scullion over at Video Games Chronicle, saying that Ubisoft's founding family may create an entirely new entity. So I'm presuming a new publisher here. This is me reading between the lines, to move some of the assets across. This is a new report on Bloomberg, which cites people familiar with the situation. And they claim the Chinese tech firm and Ubisoft founders are thinking of creating a new entity and move those assets across. The Guillemot family currently own 14% of Ubisoft shares, while Tencent owns 9.99. By moving stuff over, the report suggests it would allow Tencent to own a stake in the new entity and gain more control over those IPs. But as of this report, no final decision has been made. Sounds very all over the place, but we know now that all eyes are on Assassin's Creed Shadows and how well it performs. I think Insider Gaming and Tom Henderson reported that there were some events going on.
And I saw people in Vegas for something yesterday on Twitter. Just posted. I think it was Jordan Midler was in Vegas. Could be something different.
I saw Snowbike Mike, I think, was in Vegas as well.
Yeah, a lot of people in Vegas probably for an in-person event for Shadows. Because the reporting was they always had this set, but then they delayed it. They delayed the game, but they weren't going to delay this because obviously it's a bunch of shit to completely redo again. And that at some point today you should hear about when the previews go live is what their whole reporting was. So
interesting. Interesting. I still look at the footage, especially the more recent footage that I've seen on the internet of Shadows, and I'm like, it still looks really good. Like, I'm very curious.
I am a big Assassin's Creed fan. I will say this, John. It sounds like an enormous game, so I don't know that it will be up your alley all the way. Unlike this next story.
It depends. Sometimes I get addicted to things, like when I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which took over my entire existence. What's this? Rumor Assassin's Creed Black Flag might be remade with new gameplay changes. Well, sign me up. This is from mpfirst.com. They've posted an article detailing a list of potential upgrades for the rumored and unconfirmed Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
It's been rumored by Tom. He knows everything about Ubisoft, so I just accept it. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I adored Black Flag, and then when they sent out that questionnaire all those years ago, like, hey, people like this pirate stuff, you want a pirate game? And I was like, fuck yeah, I do. And then we got Skull and Bones,
which liked.
I liked.
Yep.
But it's a live service game, so I'm never going to play it for longer than I played it for the review. But I liked what I played, and I liked the naval combat. It's just a shame that they didn't give us what I thought would be the no-brainer thing to do, which is Black Flag, but without the Assassin's Creed bullshit around it.
Well, I bet you at the first they were like, "That's going to cost too much," and then their scope was so bad on the game that it ended up costing 4 times as much to do this.
Yeah. But new systems apparently will be graphical upgrades with gameplay elements and mechanics being upgraded. It will use the true Anvil engine that the series is known for and is rumored to be scheduled for a November 2025 release.
If it's the new Anvil engine for the stuff I got to see at Gamescom for Shadows is crazy. Like the physics interaction of everything in the environment, like when it got windy and you just see particulate like leaves get picked up and start flying around. It's all real. It's actually happening. It's not a canned animation. It was crazy because Japan has some nutty weather, and they were taking full advantage of that with the rain and the wind and everything. It was it's good.
That sounds pretty good to me. Yeah. I'll be honest, I will play the shit out of a Black Flag remake.
That one you can
This
definitely
would be my
review.
Christmas game.
Mhm.
I would sit down and be like, if I wasn't doing the review, as an example, I would be all over this. I love
I don't actually care about
all
the
of the
second one.
Assassin's Creeds. I got addicted. I finished 1. I loved 2. I kind of bounced off 3. I've played a variety of the others, and the only one outside of 2 and 1 that really grabbed me by the balls was Black Flag. Because look, being a pirate is fucking great.
When you're not the full-on, raping and pillaging pirate, you're the
not that
fun
kind of pirate.
yeah.
Whoa,
So
we're all friends here.
that's like the
I'm a
actual
friendly pirate.
That's the actual pirate and Viking lifestyle. They sucked.
No, I was an honorable pirate that took on the evil bad people.
You weren't the Amber
but
Heard.
yeah.
You were the Johnny Depp.
Yeah, but with less backstabbing. There's definitely less backstabbing.
How about
for me.
pooping in bed?
Only when outrageously drunk or high. Last story of the day today: Marvel Rivals, which is stupidly popular at this point.
Yeah, it is the one that broke through, and everyone's like, "Well, see, look, Marvel Rivals could do it." It's like, yeah, take one of the biggest IP in the history of the friggin' world and put a fun video game around it. Hey, guess what? It still took 15 friggin' tries for it to happen. They've been doing games nonstop trying to get that live service trend. They finally got it.
They've cracked it.
Yeah, it's a really fun game that is not super focused on balance, which is good because this news is going to make balance really hard.
Yeah, fuck balance. Just go for fun. But yeah, they're obviously going to have seasons, and what they've said is every 6 weeks, Marvel Rivals will introduce a new hero, which is a pretty reasonable sort of time frame. Season 1 launched last week. So you've got the Fantastic Four that come in.
You got a couple of the Fantastic Four. I think you get the Thing and Johnny Flame are coming.
First half
overtime.
You had Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic first.
And she's super badonkadonk supermodel, like every character in this game.
Very curvy. But yeah, they've said that every season they'll be rolling out.
Oh, look, it's Widowmaker. Oh, I mean, sorry, Black Widow. Sorry, they ripped off Widowmaker. Yeah,
shocking. Oh, yikes. But yeah, NetEase are going all out, and they're seeing a lot of success. So,
and there's an insane amount of nude mods for this game, as you would imagine, and someone hacked it enough where you could actually see them in the lobby.
Wow.
But that obviously their entire monetization for this game is friggin' skins. So they were like, no. And people are like, oh, come on, why? It's like, because the entire monetization for this game is selling you skins. You don't pay for the game or the content. You just pay for the looks.
Bad. Nerdy.
It's a really fun game. I do quite like the way it looks. It's a style of comic that I really like. It's not the too realistic, but it's also not the too cartoony. It's a really fun game.
It looks good. I feel like the shooting is really weak.
You don't get a ton of that, but
I dislike it a lot. It's not for me. But I'm fine with that. There's 644,000 concurrent players on Steam.
It's early Overwatch a lot, where it's not focused on competitive balance. It's just kind of crazy, and every season they're making other people more powerful. And they said they're going to do it like comics, where someone's just super powered for a while. And it's like, okay, yeah, I mean that works. Whatever. It's a lot of fun. It looks really good. It's fun finally being Spider-Man on an Xbox again. It had been a little while. He's not the best character, unfortunately. He's really good if you are good, but you got to get really good at him because he's super quick.
Yeah.
But it's a very fun video game that, again, much like Diablo 4, I don't have time to play that much. I played a ton for review. I got pretty good, and then I've barely touched it since because it's just been doing other reviews and other Patreon content. So
It's hard. It's hard times. If you did miss the exclusive Patreon content, I think it is going to turn into the new show, which is Thanks, I Hate It. It's forcing members of the team to play stuff that they definitely don't want to play, be it multiplayer or together. I was asked to play through Exit 8, which is out on Xbox now, but I picked up the Steam version because I prefer sitting here if I'm streaming. And everyone had a good laugh at me being unnerved by the Japanese subway system. It was entertaining. I had fun. It was a good time. But we're hoping within the next couple of weeks we'll be taking Nick and Jesse onto the high seas of the Sea of Thieves in a brigantine to do some treasure digging and see what happens to us.
I was also thinking the Game Pass show for this month might end up being 2 next month because there's like 4 things now coming out at the very end of the month that would be like be able to talk about, but we can't because they're all the very end of the month, so the embargoes won't be up. So
yes, that's very true. We'll find a way, dear patrons. But that's it. That's all of the news. It's been a day. The Nintendo Switch 2 is real. It's on its way. Get excited if you're a Nintendo fan.
It's
or if
not
you just
super
love
close, but
handheld
you've got a
video
lot of stuff to keep you happy in the meantime.
games. Oh man, just feeling the love today. It's a good day if you love video games, I think, for the most part. And we love you guys. So thank you very much for tuning in, watching, interacting, engaging, hitting that like button. If you really love what Xbox Zero does day in, day out, the content, the reviews, the streams, the previews, the forums, the Discord, become a cooler person because patrons have more fun by heading to patreon.com/Xbox Era. We will be back on Saturday with the Mainline podcast as per usual. I believe, because he said he's fucking coming on, Destin Ligari will be joining us. I'm hoping Nick's followed that through. And it's the week before the Dev Direct. So I'm sure
and we've got all 4 of us there for so exactly 1 week. I'm going to be going with this 4-person layout where all 4 of us will be here. It'll obviously actually fit correctly. And I need to get Soul's actual Blue Sky nameplate. I only have his Twitter one.
Yeah. Oh, and while I'm mentioning it, it's been Game of the Year coverage week for us because we actually wait until the year's over before we put together our coverage. And over the last 4 days, including today, we've had coverage and videos from myself, Nick, Ursel, and Jesse. We'll have other coverage from other members of the team, including Gyozo.
They'll have articles going up today and tomorrow.
And then we'll have the general staff list, which is all voted upon from the team.
You'll get the Xbox Era Game of the Year tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Probably
so
evening.
if you haven't watched them and you like to sit down and enjoy a good list, why not go do that? And be sure to hit like on the video and all of that fun stuff. Until then, we'll see you on Saturday. Be good to each other, play loads of video games, and ciao for now.
Until it's time remain perfectly. Yes, and would you be like the star of this? Yes. Now would you say? I'm sure you'll. So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool? So you see, I've gotten this far. Please give me some place to rage. I'm not trying to go there, so take me away. Life sometimes pisses me off. It's never a good trip for me. Every time I reach for love, it's taken away. Night, so I play. Give me a sign this is day. Give me some patience, so I pray. It's time to die. Is that what I want? There's nothing wrong wanting to be loved. Is there something wrong with me? For once in my life, I'd like to be really set free. Let me be me. Night, so I play. Give me a sign this is day. Give me some patience, so I pray. It's time to die. Is that what I want? Hey, take me away. Take it away. Take me away. Take it away. Night, so I play. Give me a sign this is day. Give me some patience, so I pray. It's time to die. Is that what I want?